Hi everyone, it's Jen, and I'm going to show you how to make calculated fields. First of all, you should have already downloaded and saved your queries to a database, and you want to open up your water bills table. We're going to take a look at this table, and you can see that we have our rate, so the amount that it costs each time somebody uses a certain amount of water, and the amount they actually used. And then we have the amount that the people paid, but we don't have actually what they used. We don't have that calculated out, and we don't know how much they may owe depending on how much they paid. Did they overpay, underpay, or pay the exact right amount? So we need to create some calculated fields, and these can be created in queries and these can be created in tables. So let's get going. We're going to head over to the design view, and we want to create a new field. The new field that we want to create is amount due. And you can see by default, it makes my data type short text. And I have typed it in without a space because it's best to store field names in Access without spaces. But I'd like the caption to appear with a space, so I'm going to go ahead and copy amount due and click inside caption here in my field properties at the bottom, and I'm going to paste that in, but then I'm going to add a space so that my caption actually will appear above the field with the space, even though it doesn't have a space here. Next, I want to put in a description, and this is going to be the rate multiplied by the usage. And you can see that there are descriptions here so that whoever is entering this knows that this is per 100 gallons or in 100-gallon increments. This is the date of the billing cycle, so this way we can make clear how we're getting these calculations. Now I'd like to actually make this field into a calculated field. So I'm going to go into my data type and click on Calculated. You're going to see that the expression builder opens up. Now, there are several ways to create expressions or formulas in a field, and I'm going to show you two different ways. I think the expression builder is a little challenging, and I actually like just typing in my expression or formula, but I'll show you this way as well because it can be helpful, especially later on if you're creating really fancy schmancy expressions. So, what we want is to just do rate times usage. So we can go down here, you can see that the fields in water bills are available here. So with water bills selected, I'm going to go ahead and double click on rate, and it's going to appear with those brackets around it. Now I'd like to multiply. I could go ahead and just type in an asterisk, which is used as multiplication, just like in Excel. I can also click on operators here, and I can select the operator here as well. I double click to insert it, and it's inserted above. Now I need to go back to my water bills and select usage again, double clicking. Now my formula was created, and I'm going to go ahead and click OK. And now you can see below in my field properties that the expression is typed out, and I could just type it in, and we'll do that with another one. And I have rate times usage, and I have my caption amount due. Okay, now I'd like to go and check that it did it right. So I'm going to save, and I'm going to head over to the datasheet view, and oh, I get this scary thing where it shows amount due and it has lots of numbers in it. Let's expand this out, and it shows that it has 16 point blah, 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 and it's got this huge long number. Hey, that doesn't look like my amount due. I want my amount due to look like this amount paid. I want it to appear as money. So I'm going to go back and fix that. I'm going to head over to the design view, and I'm going to go down, and you want to make sure that you actually have your insertion point in amount due. Otherwise, you're going to see the field properties of something else. So make sure that you're inside there, and you're going to head over here to format. And if your window is really expanded out, like full screen, this little drop down arrow is going to be way over on the right. Either way, you're just going to click to open it, and you're going to select currency. And then let's hit save again and see what happens. Aha, now it's fixed. Look, so I have amount due, amount paid, and for the most part, they're matching each other, which is good. Now we need to create a formula that's going to give us this balance remaining or balance due to the residents. So we'll make sure that they've paid the right amount. So we're going to head back to the design view. We're going to create another field called balance due. And we're going to use the same method where we go ahead down here and we put in our caption with the space. And now we want to put in a description, and we have to think about this. How are we going to calculate this out? We want to make sure that we're getting whatever remains, whether it's a negative, whatever the water company owes the resident, or whatever the resident owes the water company. So we need to take the amount due, so we're going to type that in, amount due minus amount paid. Right? So if they had to pay a certain amount and we subtract whatever they paid, it should be 0 if they paid the right amount. If they paid too much, it will be a negative. If they paid not enough, they'll have the money owed there. Okay, so now I want to go ahead and create my calculation. So I'm going to go in here and do calculated. Now, rather than using the expression builder, I'm going to go ahead and close that. I'm just going to type it in here. I'm going to type in my little bracket and type amount. And notice how it's giving me a cue to allow me to use those fields. So I'm going to go ahead and select amount due by double clicking. And I'm going to type in a minus sign. And now I'm going to want to use amount paid. And when I start typing that, even without my bracket, it goes ahead and starts giving me those ones that sound like that. So I'm going to go ahead and select amount paid, double click, and now I've created my formula. I already know that I want this to appear as currency. So I'm going to go ahead here and change that to currency, and I'm going to save. And now I want to check that it came out okay. It's very important to go ahead and check that your formulas worked okay. So we go ahead to click View, and I'm going to scroll over a bit here. And now I can see you'd want to double check a whole bunch of calculations, and if the balance wasn't so obvious, you may need to go ahead and do a little side calculation just to make sure that it's correct. And I also want to go ahead and resize this a bit. And notice that my captions have the spaces. That's very nice. And that if somebody paid the right amount, it looks like it's 0. And now if I scroll down a little further, I can see this customer transposed the numbers. So they overpaid. So the water company owes them 27 cents. And this person also transposed or flipped some numbers. So they paid $18 over. Oh no. So the water company owes them some money. Then as we scroll down a little further, we can see, oh, somebody didn't pay enough, so they owe over $19. Or maybe somebody didn't pay their bill at all, so this was 0 and they owe the full amount. So that makes sense. I can tell by kind of spot checking these that my formula worked. So make sure that you saved, and that was creating calculated fields.